Yeah, he's out there. He's out there somewhere. So please, could you make lots of noise for John McDonnell? Oh, there we go.
Thank you. Can I thank Crispin for all that he does? This isn't just one event. He does this all around the country for the party and the work he does. The only drawback is that virtually every time I've been on this platform at Crispin, I've got into real trouble. So the instructions from Jeremy tonight are no jokes, watch your language, and above all else, cut out the red book throwing. And the reason for that is basically there's always, usually at one of these do's, someone from the Daily Mail or the Sun. So what we try and do is just we ask you to look to your left or look to your right to see who you think that person might be. Because I don't want you to do anything to that person other than invite him or her to a workshop by the NUJ on quality journalism. That's embedded my career in the future with the Sun and the Mail. I had some bloke phone me up from the Sun about a year ago and said, I'm a journalist from the Sun. I said, look, you can be one or the other, but you can't be both. We've come out of this leadership election, and it's been difficult. It's been tough, to be frank. It's been tough, and we've had the last 12 months. It's been like a media tsunami coming at us, and all our families as well. All our families as well. And I don't know, to be frank, how Jeremy's borne it, but he's borne it with dignity. They've trailed round virtually all our relatives, no matter how distant. And with Jeremy, to be frank, they couldn't find anything on him. So they went back 4 generations and discovered one of his uncles ran a poorhouse. You know, under the old poor law. What a swine that Corbyn is. 4 generations they had to go back. With me, they put an advert in a newspaper when I grew up as a child, and they said, did you know John McDonnell? And some woman wrote in and said, I sat next to John McDonnell at primary school, and he used to whisper the answers to the maths test so I didn't get caned by Sister Pancratius. I went to a Catholic school. Now, I thought that was deeply moving. And then they ran a headline, always knew he was a cheat. And it's gone on like that. But we've come through it. We've come through it. And the last leadership election, I hope these aren't going to be annual events, but the last leadership election, I thought actually is engaged in debate, and I pay tribute to Owen Smith. Owen Smith I look on as a friend and a comrade, and I pay tribute actually to the way in which he engaged in that debate. A special tribute, because the thing he repeated the most was, I agree with Jeremy. All right. And we're hoping, and I say this sincerely, we're hoping that Owen will come back and perform a role, and I'm hoping he comes back on the front bench. And I want to say this, I think we've come out of this united, and I want to pay tribute to those people who've come back to serve our party. I want to pay tribute to Steve Pan, Ruth Cadbury, and Rupert Huck, for now taking position on the front bench. Because it... That's basis for suspension. Heckling a shadow cabinet member? No. Can I say on the suspensions as well, we're looking into that, and I want to bring people back. I don't want them excluded. We've come out, I think we've come out of it. We've had the policy debate, and I think the most unifying thing, and I know I joke about Owen, but the most unifying thing was that there was barely a difference on policy. We came out of it united on all the different areas of policy. Leave aside Trident, most other issues, we're a united party. And that's where we are now. What we need now is absolute unity of our movement. We need solidarity. Why? Because I think no matter what Theresa May said it when she was first crowned, not elected leader, whatever she said about the warm words of compassion and social justice, I think actually what we've got is most probably one of the most reactionary Tory governments that we've seen since Thatcher. So in these coming months, we need that determination and courage and solidarity in our movement to stand up to these Tories. And it starts next week. We'll be campaigning against the Tories' refusal to bring the refugee children from Calais into this country. We want those children safe. You've started already the campaign because you've been out in your street stalls already. We're going to campaign in this coming year, and I tell you, we will defeat them. We will defeat them in bringing back grammar schools and selection back into our education system. That segregates our children one from another. And I tell you as well, exactly as Ruth said, in this area, the scourge of homelessness and housing is a scandal. It's the worst housing crisis we've seen since the Second World War. In Hayes tonight, in my constituency, in Hillingdon, 200 families will be in bed and breakfast. We'll have families living in sheds and garages rented out to them. We've reinvented the back-to-back, where one family rents the front of a house and another rents the back. You know as well as I do, average rents now between $1,400 and $1,600. No wonder people are sleeping in our parks along the canals, and homelessness has tripled in the last 18 months. So we'll be campaigning, yes, to ensure that commitment when we go back into government, that councils will be freed up and they'll have the resources, and we'll build 1 million new homes, and we'll build council homes, and we'll be proud of calling them council homes again. And this area, Ealing, you've suffered more than most in terms of NHS cuts as well, with the accident emergency and the other threats to the NHS provision in this area. And I pay tribute to the MPs, the councillors, and all of you that have campaigned against those cuts. But let's make it absolutely clear to people as we campaign in the coming months, whenever this general election's coming, that we'll end all privatisation in the NHS, and we'll bring services back. We'll end the cuts. I think the general election could come any time. Theresa May has said that she'll stay on until 2020. Whenever did you last believe a Tory leader? I think it could come at any time, and that's why we're now on a campaign footing. We have the resources. Why have we got the resources? Because now we've got over 600,000 members, the biggest political party in Europe. On virtually every street in this country now there's a Labour Party member, and we'll use those, yes, to campaign and demonstrate and protest, but also as the electoral machine that will take us back into power. I never thought, 2 years ago I was despondent, 18 months ago I was despondent when we lost the last general election. But I never thought that in my lifetime we'd see a socialist leader of the Labour Party. Well, we have one now. We have one now. And for whatever faults we all have, we can work together to resolve the minor differences that we might still have on policy. We can resolve that because I think we're united largely on policy. Where we've made mistakes, we've admitted to those, and we'll make sure we improve, all of us, at every level of our party. Because we believe, yes, we're facing a reactionary Tory government, but we believe the reason Jeremy was elected leader of the party by our party members and our supporters is exactly the same reason that people want something different who are not party members, the members of the electorate. What they want now is hope. They want hope that there's something different from this system, where they have rising homelessness, cuts in the NHS, threats to education through another round of austerity, and the greatest level of inequality in our society since before the First World War. This party was founded on hope. That's what we'll campaign for in these coming 12 months until the next election or whenever it comes. And I believe sincerely that if we're united as a party, if we show the courage and determination, and above all else, the solidarity that we need, we can win this general election that comes, but more importantly, we can rebuild and transform our society to make it more equal, more prosperous and fairer and more democratic. That's what I call socialism, solidarity.